My dear, my family just stepped in, but they don't see the storms you quietly survived. My, uh, my family just stepped in, trying to fix what only my heart can heal. When my family stepped in, silence screamed louder than any spoken word between us. My family's judgment fell like stones, but your love was the fragile glass I held. My family stepped in, but their words were shadows against your glowing truth. My family just stepped in, yet only your absence carved the deepest wound. The moment my family stepped in, I realized some battles live only inside souls. My family stepped in. Healing began when I stopped fighting their fears and trusted you. When my family stepped in, love became a secret language. We whispered in the dark. My family just stepped in, but you were already a ghost in my silent prayers. My family stepped in, but only your presence taught me the meaning of belonging. When my family stepped in, they built walls. You taught me how to climb over. My family just stepped in, carrying stories I never told you. Now I carry them both. My family stepped in, but your love is the only truth I'm willing to hold. When my family stepped in, I realized love often lives in the space between pain. My family just stepped in, yet your absence spoke louder than any protest they made. My family stepped in, but your silence was the loudest confession between us. When my family stepped in, I lost you in the crowd of whispered accusations. My family just stepped in, but only your forgiveness can mend this broken bridge. My family stepped in, and suddenly love felt like a fragile rebellion against them all. My family just stepped in, not knowing you were the home I never dared to claim. When my family stepped in, they saw the war. I saw the love they missed. My family stepped in, but your eyes held the universe I couldn't explain. My family just stepped in, but it was your heart that saved me from falling. When my family stepped in, I felt torn between their fear and your fragile grace. My family stepped in, yet the quiet between us screamed truths they never heard. My family just stepped in, but you are the unspoken prayer I keep repeating. When my family stepped in, love became a battle between loyalty and desire. My family stepped in, but your voice still lingers like a secret hymn in my soul. My family just stepped in, blurring lines I only hoped to keep clear for you. When my family stepped in, I realized healing needs more than their good intentions. My family stepped in, but only your love can rewrite the story they tried to tell. My family just stepped in, and suddenly love felt both fragile and infinite. When my family stepped in, I stood between their fears and your fragile heart. My family stepped in, but only you understood the silence. I couldn't explain, My family just stepped in, but your memory is the warmth I cling to in cold nights. When my family stepped in, it was love that whispered louder than their doubts. My family stepped in, but your absence wrote the most haunting chapters in me. My family just stepped in, but your love is the rebellion I quietly wear. When my family stepped in, I lost more than their approval. I lost myself. My family stepped in, yet your smile was the only peace I dared to seek. My family just stepped in, but your truth is the light behind every shadow they cast. When my family stepped in, I learned love is often the hardest choice to defend. My family stepped in, but your heart is the only home that feels real. My family just stepped in, but your silence speaks louder than all their words combined. When my family stepped in, it was your love that taught me how to forgive. My family stepped in, but your memory is the echo that keeps me alive. My family just stepped in, but you were already gone beyond their reach. When my family stepped in, love became a fragile secret between two wounded souls. My family stepped in, but your presence was the only truth I needed. My family just stepped in, and the world shifted under my trembling feet. When my family stepped in, I realized love sometimes fights battles alone. My family stepped in, but your love is the light that never dims. My family just stepped in, yet your absence teaches me the hardest lessons. When my family stepped in, I discovered strength hidden in love's quiet corners. My family stepped in, but your heart remains the sanctuary I can't leave behind. My family just stepped in, and everything I believed began to unravel beautifully. When my family stepped in, love became a secret rebellion I refused to hide. My family stepped in, but your forgiveness is the only balm I crave. My family just stepped in, blurring the lines between love and loyalty. When my family stepped in, I held your hand tighter against the cold judgment. My family stepped in, yet your love is the revolution that changed my world. My family just stepped in, but your truth is the only reality I cherish. When my family stepped in, I learned love means sometimes standing alone. My family stepped in, but your voice is the melody I hum in silence. My family just stepped in, but you remain the light I refuse to extinguish. When my family stepped in, I realized some wounds heal only with your love. My family stepped in, yet your heart is the only home I want to keep. My family just stepped in, shaking foundations built on unspoken fears and hopes. When my family stepped in, love became a fragile spark against the storm. My family stepped in, but your love is the fire that keeps me warm. My family just stepped in, yet you remain the quiet prayer I whisper. When my family stepped in, I understood love's battles are fought in silence. My family stepped on, but your memory is the song that heals my soul. My family just stepped in, yet your love is the compass guiding me home. When my family stepped in, I lost their approval, but found your true embrace. My family stepped in, but your heart remains the revolution I live for. My family just stepped in, and silence became the loudest language between us. When my family stepped in, I chose love over fear and lost their certainty. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. My family stepped in, but your love is the quiet rebellion that saved me. When my family stepped in, I found strength in loving you beyond their reach. My family stepped in, shaking the roots, but your love held me steady. My family just stepped in, but your heart is the only truth I own. When my family stepped in, I realized love sometimes demands brave defiance. My family stepped in, but your love is the courage I wear like armor. My family just stepped in, yet you remain the sacred secret I protect. When my family stepped in, I learned love's quiet power defeats the loudest storms. My family stepped in, but your memory is the peace I chase in restless nights. My family just stepped in, and I chose your love over their fear. When my family stepped in, I found freedom in loving you without permission. My family stepped in, yet your heart is the sanctuary no judgment can touch. My family just stepped in, shaking the foundations, but your love rebuilt them stronger. When my family stepped in, I chose love's truth over their imposed silence. My family stepped in, but your love is the light that refuses to fade. My family just stepped in, but your presence is the home I will always find. When my family stepped in, love became the rebellion I silently vowed to keep. My family stepped in, but your heart is the quiet revolution inside me. My family just stepped in, yet your love is the compass pointing me home. When my family stepped in, I found strength only your love could teach me. My family stepped in, but your love whispered louder than their doubts ever could. When my family stepped in, I chose your heart over their fears and silence. My family just stepped in, yet your memory is the light that guides me still. When my family stepped in, I realized love isn't always understood, but it's always true. My family stepped in, but your presence healed wounds their words only opened. My family just stepped in, shaking my world, but your love rebuilt every broken piece. When my family stepped in, I learned to love in defiance and quiet rebellion. My family stepped in, yet your heart remains the only home I want to keep. My family just stepped in, but your forgiveness is the balm that soothes my soul. When my family stepped in, love became the fiercest battle I chose to fight. My family stepped in, but your love is the sacred fire burning through my doubts. My family just stepped in, but your voice is the melody that calms my chaos. When my family stepped in, I found freedom in loving you beyond all judgment. My family stepped in, yet your love is the anchor holding me through storms. My family just stepped in, shaking faith, but your love restored every lost prayer. When my family stepped in, silence became a language only our hearts could speak. My family stepped in, but your love is the revolution that changed my world. My family just stepped in, yet your truth is the light no shadow can dim. When my family stepped in, I chose love's wildness over their safe expectations. My family stepped in, but your memory is the quiet peace I carry inside. My family just stepped in, but your heart taught me how to heal and forgive. When my family stepped in, I realized love's strength is born in vulnerability. My family stepped in, yet your love is the compass guiding me back to myself. My family just stepped in, shaking roots, but your love planted seeds of hope. When my family stepped in, I chose to protect the fragile love we built. My family stepped in, but your presence is the sanctuary I return to always.